pets are their loved ones, our loved ones. We all love pets, and that's why we work here. But families have more and more families, I think, are having pets.
Pets are a huge part of many of our lives. In fact, Americans spend more than $60 billion on their pets in just 1 year. But how much is too much to spend on your pet? One North Dakota veterinary clinic is now offering a service that could save your pet's life in the long run. Tonight, Valley News Team's Melanie Palmer has our story on the cost of these companions and why vets are saying they're worth the investment.
Good girl, Dad. People are realizing that animals aren't just serving a job or doing a job anymore, that they're actual members of the family.
Many of us have them, and of course, we love them. But how much do you typically spend on them? From the latest study we could find, a growing number of people are paying more for their animals' medical bills than their own. But an area vet says he hasn't seen that much of an increase.
I don't think it's decreased, or I think it's always been there, but there certainly is a drive to find out if they can get more help.
And that's why Castleton Veterinary Services invested in a state-of-the-art CT scanner. It's the only one available within hundreds of miles, and vets say it will be much easier to diagnose animals than ever before.
It's definitely a huge tool in our tool belt to be able to give them a more well-rounded diagnosis and prognosis, and hopefully to get a treatment plan, or at least definitely some answers as far as what's happening to their animal.
But with any medical procedure comes a hefty price tag, which is leading to growth in another area, pet health insurance. In fact, we found a recent report that says pet insurance is one of the fastest growing optional employee benefits. And over 1 million pets were insured last year alone, proving that our furry friends are more often being thought of now as furry family members. In Castleton, Melanie Palmer, Valley News Live.
Staff members at Castleton Veterinary Service are being trained on the next couple of days on this new CT scanner. They say they're excited to now have this service to help pets in need. A little warmer today, but the wind and clouds are still hanging around. Hutch, is this what we should be expecting all weekend?
No. We do have some big time changes for the weekend that might make you want to get out there and enjoy taking your pets for a walk tonight. Here's a look at today. We have low clouds and even a few flakes here and there, but we did see some sunshine, temperatures into the 30s this afternoon. Now the clouds are back and it's windy out there, so it's kind of wind chilly, but the snow you see up north by Winnipeg, that will start to push southward as we go into our weekend. So expect 20s for most of the evening. Still windy and wind chilly in both Fargo and Grand Forks. And you may notice the midnight temperature there in the 20s. You'll want to get out and walk your dog by that time. That'll be the high tomorrow in a lot of places.
Okay.
So keep in mind, changes coming for the weekend. I'll have details on snow chances in your backyard, as well as how cold we get here in a few moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
You bet.
We're getting new information about an armed robbery in the Northern Valley. Grand Forks police have now released surveillance video from the incident at Valley Dairy last night. Take a look. They say this man, described as black, in his early 20s, pulled out a gun and demanded money from the clerk. As you can see, he was wearing a Vikings jacket with purple sleeves. Officials say the suspect took off on foot and headed east. No one was hurt and no shots were fired. If you or someone you know has information on what happened, call Grand Forks Police at the number on your screen, 701-787-8000. It's Friday and time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Fargo police say Zachary Schmidtke is wanted for felony criminal trespass. We have his picture right there on your screen. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information. It was a hectic morning in Moorhead for police. A man is facing several charges after allegedly threatening neighbors with a knife early this morning. Around 2 a.m., officers were sent to the 1800 block of Bellesley Boulevard for a disturbance. When police arrived, they could hear yelling and tried to make contact. But they say 30-year-old Jay Rurup slammed the door. He was eventually arrested for assault, making terroristic threats, burglary, obstructing the legal process, and domestic assault. Also in Moorhead overnight, a Fargo man is facing charges after police say he broke into a woman's house. It happened around 1 a.m. in the area of 3rd Street and 8th Avenue South. Police say 29-year-old Zachary Payne took off on foot after being confronted by the woman. A perimeter was set up and police found Payne near Woodlawn Park. He was arrested for trespassing and disorderly conduct. Officers say he and the woman do not know each other. We are continuing to follow a developing story out of the Southern Valley. Local and state crime bureau officials are working to determine whether alleged student misbehavior at Richland 44 High School in Colfax might be criminal. The Richland County Sheriff made his first comments on the case yesterday, saying nothing is being ruled out and that investigators need to get to the bottom of what happened. Sheriff Larry Lefshofsky says several students and witnesses are being interviewed, and the investigation will take about another week to complete. We first broke this story earlier this week after a call to our whistleblower hotline. School District Superintendent Tim Godfrey has said the alleged misbehavior happened in the boys' locker room. There are rumors it may involve younger students being sexually violated. The mother of a former NDSU student who died after being addicted to painkillers will be in Washington next week for the State of the Union message. Shelley Elkington will be the guest of Minnesota U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar Tuesday night. We introduced you to Elkington about a year and a half ago after her daughter's body was found in a garage at a South Fargo apartment building. Elkington's daughter, Casey Jo Schulte, had been diagnosed with Crohn's disease and had been taking opioids to help her deal with the pain. She says Casey had been overprescribed pain medication, and that's what ultimately led to her death. Senator Klobuchar has been very involved in the battle against opioid abuse. She is one of 4 senators behind a law focusing our nation's attention on the opioid addiction problem and working on ways to solve it. You can see the State of the Union message at 8 Tuesday night right here on Valley News Live. The fallout continues in the sexual abuse case that's rocking the athletic community. Larry Nassar's sentencing has turned a harsh spotlight on Michigan State University. And as Meg Oliver reports from New York, today that led to another high-level departure.
Mark Hollis has led Michigan State athletics through one of its most successful decades. That era ends under a dark cloud.
Today I'm announcing my retirement.
His sudden retirement as athletic director comes as MSU faces lawsuits and investigations for failing to take action against Larry Nassar. As the university's sports doctor, Nassar is accused of sexually abusing more than 150 young women over 2 decades, even after many of them filed complaints.
If the right thing was done then, 20 years ago, I should have never met this sad excuse for a man.
This is what it looks like when institutions create a culture where a predator can flourish unafraid and unabated.
Hollis says the victim's impact statements brought him to tears.
My heart breaks thinking about the incomprehensible pain all of them and their families have experienced.
MSU President Lou Anna Simon resigned earlier this week, and Friday afternoon, the university's Board of Trustees held an emotional meeting, apologizing to Nassar's victims and promising change.
It's hard for me as a father to fully grasp how this went unchecked for over 20 years.
Hollis says his departure does not mean he is running away from the scandal and that he will fully cooperate with the investigations. Meg Oliver, CBS News.
The shakeup is also affecting USA Gymnastics, where the entire board of directors is under pressure to step down. A new package